trying to put it in any hole that I can.
Boy, them small block Chevys, the best thing since they ever come out with them. I tell you right now, they're the best. Well, they didn't have oil filters on them in 1955.
This is a nice surprise. It's been a while since I've painted an engine in the shop, but I'm a big fan. I got some tape where it needs to be. She's glossing out really nice. This is really, how do you get a paint shop worthy paint job with a rattle can? That's how. Patience, multiple coats, proper primer, and proper base. And if you want that fifth little piggy in there, you know, you got to tell yourself, I've got to do tack coats. If you don't, that's where you're going to have your issues. So that is technically the second base coat, and I laid in a third, what I would call just really a heavy wet coat. About 15 minutes after I started, I came back in and laid a third coat, really wetting it up. So I'm pretty happy with this. Knock on wood, thank you Jesus, I don't have any runs. Very thankful for you guys joining in. This all comes out of overtime and side jobs, flipping little cars like that Honda. The profits that you make, whether it's 500 or 1,000, they go into stuff like this. There's about $60 of rattle can right here. If you include some of the cleaners and sandpaper, I've got about $100 worth of product in this. And I didn't buy the cheap little stuff. I bought the nice engine enamel with ceramic. I did the primer as well. Try to do this right. And yes, I could come back and put a top coat of clear on it. I will evaluate that tomorrow and see how I feel. So we'll see. I think the car deserves a flat out engine bay and some nice black flat in there. We'll see how she goes. I got myself a 1955 small block Chevy little timing cover. It says 283. I'm gonna take a gamble and say that it does fit a 265 because in 55, that's when it was. And I don't believe they had a 283 in 55. That was 56 and up. Correct me if I'm wrong. We're gonna throw this on, pray that it fits that bottom without pulling the pan off, because I got excited, just wanted to throw it on the other day. And then when we get done with that, I will throw the exhaust manifolds on and we'll start plugging all this good jazz. I really just need to plug the majority of these ports for break-in, as long as I got water pumps and good water flowing, and then I'll come back and do all my sensors and stuff. That's just kind of how I look at it, because there may be a chance I have to get back in the motor. So let me do that, and then I have a special package here. I've been waiting about 3 weeks for. No, I've been waiting probably a month or more. This is an OEM style fuel pump for this Honda. Now, oh, everybody don't click off for just a second. If you like cars, you like cars, jeez. There it is. So I've got to figure out what's going on with it. Some of the goofiest fuel lines and vacuum lines I've ever seen in my life on this car. That threw me for a loop, and I still can't get the hatch open. So we'll get to that. I don't know if I'll do it in this video or another video, but I'm ready to get this thing sold. And fuel pump and brake master cylinder were holding me up. And I have a brake master cylinder for it somewhere brand new. Real quick, this timing cover. She's about the same. The only difference, you know, this has got a flat. That doesn't have a flat. Timing I have to bolt on. It appears correct. The flange, everything appears the same. And it looks like my center shaft diameter is the same. I'm not sure what is different. If there is anything different, I'm sure I'm about to find out that I wasted 50 bucks. So we'll see. Let me throw this on here. We'll get to go. All right, put these in my parts cleaner, which is a paint lid turned upside down with some degreaser and then some brake parts cleaner. All right, after a good bit of debacle in here, I made a mistake. I had to pull my pan off and get my clearance because I think the newer gaskets are about an 1/8 inch larger. I have 3 of them from 3 different manufacturers, and I wanted to see what would fit, because I think that's where the 55 difference is, quote unquote. So I went ahead and got this on. She's torqued all down, and I had to press in a seal, use my RTV around it, all that good jazz. She looks fantastic. So, you know, throwing a prayer up at the Lord, don't let her leak, amen. I believe that's gonna be fine. Next thing, I had to reseat the whole pan. I went back and freshened up my RTV on certain areas, and should be good there. All right, I ordered some new hardware for the water pump here, and this has got way too many, and obviously I'm believing that it's gonna have a long variant because there is a long water pump. There is a long water pump versus a short water pump. Now, my best advice to anybody that doesn't know is to take your hardware, chase it through, check your engagement. You got about the whole sleeve there. And I think that's gonna be way too long. So, yeah, way too long. So I need a little bit shorter. Now, first problem I'm seeing is a lot of this doesn't have. Oh man, I ordered this just for a short water pump. Let's see. That's not a lot of meat. Yeah, yeah, we got some very different hardware. And I got thread sealant for these too. All right, these are going to be my uppers. That's perfect. That one upper, and this is going to be a short. Yep. I've got another longer. Yep. This is going to be a real long. That's just a hair longer than the other one. Let's see if I can get it. I don't think that's going to work. Nope. All right, we'll use those. I'll set my washers. While they're on here, I'm going to set my thread sealant. We'll walk it up and start working it in. And I've already high-tacked everything. I got to high-tack the block here. And should be going on good. A little time lapse for you. I'm running into an issue. Only got one gasket for this thermostat. Normally, for anybody that's working on something they bought with a credit card, they can use one gasket. But no, I'm working on a 1955. And this sandwiches in between the thermostat housing and the block. So I'm going to cut me another gasket. And then we're going to go heavy. Now this still has oil in it because I was lazy. We're going to go heavy on the top of this and right here. I'm letting that tack off a minute. So we have a nice build up to take up this pitted cast iron, whatever garbage this is. So that's what I'm doing there. Did this kit come with water neck? There we go. 2 water neck bolts. Other thing, I reused my original 1955 oil pressure sending unit. I'm using the 55 distributor. She's pointed at cylinder 1. That's as tight as I could get it to 1. I would prefer if it was more of a direct shot to it, but I cannot get it off any better. So that's what we're doing. And yes, I have to oil this and a couple other things. So we're getting there, people. We're getting there. It's the small details. I got these tightened up. I used my inners just because I think I'm going to use the outer on that carburetor I got. And God forbid I pull something, because it's a, I guess it's a, I don't know. It's a TSP intake. When this vintage Edelbrock comes in, we'll swap it out. But I paid $80 for this from a guy who runs 55s, 6, and 7s. And he said it was a good intake. It was brand new. We'll see. I've done the research and I can't figure out if it's a Jegs brand, if it's an old Texas Speed Performance. I don't know. Or if it's the surplus parts. I don't know. I mean, I'm just gambling here. So it seems to fit okay. I had to tighten it down to get some flex out of it, but my China walls look fantastic on it. So that's what matters. And real quick, look at the clearance down in here. You couldn't fit a debit card in between that timing cover and water pump, but that's how they want it to be. So she's on there. And she sounds good. I lubed that thing up with some PV blaster down the inside. It was pumping before, wasn't making noise or leaking. So we're going to save on it right now. I want to work on this, get this mounted. What I'm going to run into is clearance issues for this pipe, because the factory one was down low. So we'll get to that when we do. I'm still going to do a PCV valve vent. I may do a PCV valve back here, but I'm going to do some type of valve cover situation. We're not there yet. I'll get through break-in and probably change that. So let's see. This feed line's got to run up to this line, and I got to fabricate that. And I'm running into a huge issue here. The original oil drain dropped back down in right here. I don't have that on this block. So I have to figure something out there. I will let I'll let y'all know when I do. I haven't reached that point yet. I really want to use this oil filter option just because of break-in, you know. I don't know here. God, that thing's okay. I just got to man up and grab it. She just drops right back down into the valley. That looks appropriate. None of this drops back down into the valley. The only thing that does is my oil pressure sending unit, but it goes down in the block. Man, guys, I got to figure that out. We may not be running an oil filter, this oil filter thing. Executive decision. I mean, am I going to be running a magnet and changing the oil a lot sooner than normal? Probably. I really want to have an oil. Oh, I want an oil filter. Why did you not put an oil filter on these? Chevrolet. Boy, them small block Chevys, the best thing since they ever come out with them. I tell you right now, they're the best. Well, they didn't have oil filters on them in 1955. Because they wanted you to come back and get another motor. I don't know. All right, let me think on this for a minute. I got to stew on this situation for a second. I don't even have a location to fill oil, so I'm going to be doing valve covers and all. I'm getting a little bamboozled here. Dadgummit. All right, little update. I have set some copper exhaust gasket onto my heads, and I have done them to the opposing face of the gaskets. Reason being, I have not resurfaced these heads. And the same for the manifolds. I would like to replace these one day. It's not today. So I'm going to use what I can to make these last. Had an old tube with some stuff, drilled a hole inside, busted it out. We're gonna go through here and run them. Now I cleaned my bolts with some cleaner. There we go, we got proper engagement. I would like to go through and set them. And then I will set my gaskets onto the back of them. All these are the same size. Driver is gonna dump on forward. Passenger is gonna dump on rear. Hopefully I got all the bolts, which it does not look like I do. These were my new header bolts, and of course they're too short. So yeah, that's okay. No big deal. All right. A little Matthew McConaughey action going on. Real quick, we are going to be doing some down and dirty engine bay painting. What I mean is, I walked out here with a piece of sandpaper. I went around, scratched and scotched, and I got some old crap off the firewall. And then sanded out some runs. There's some bad runs on the back. I'm not doing nothing crazy because this car will get painted one day, hopefully. At least the engine bay, I know. But I just wanted to get in here and kind of clean it up. And then got everything decently away from where I'm spraying. I got a towel just to kind of irritate me. I'm going to take what little masking material I have. Oh, look at that F100. Gosh. Got me a couple Scotch yellow tape, my favorite. Ba-da-da-da-da. I can go through 100 rolls of masking tape. I can tell you this much. I've tried them all. I've grown to love the yellow Scotch. All right, as long as most of y'all can get this through your head that this is not the Mona Lisa. This is a 70-year-old car that has not been restored. And it might get restored one day. But as long as I own it, it probably won't. So what I'm trying to do here is just quick, down and dirty, simple stuff. That seal's gonna get replaced. It's already been taped a few times. So I'm gonna lay back behind it. You ain't gotta get crazy.
I'm not even worried about overspray on the fenders. Have you seen this car? But I will do a little cup turn right here. We'll try to roll that edge and act like nobody's watching. Like I'm trying to paint a car down at the Jiffy Lube. Masking paper like that. What do we have? What do we have? I will paint or take these fittings. If you wrap that all the way around like I just did, it's going to be really difficult to get off. So that's perfect. And I might buzz a piece down the side here, just to make it look like I'm taking care of this thing. Well, things escalated quickly. That has to be one of the worst spraying cans I've ever sprayed in my life. If you turn it any angle, it stopped. And it specifically says any angle spray with comfort tip. That was not accurate. I worked with what I had on that. These were on sale. They were $1. No, they were 15% off at Tractor Supply. So yeah. All right, we're gonna let that sit and bake for a minute, and I'm gonna come back with the next one and lay in the cross member, and we will try to let that sit, and then I'll start going into the sides again. It happens to be the windiest day of the year. I mean, it just randomly comes and goes. Like this towel just fell in. I need one of those Sawzall attachments that get these things going buck wild. I'm just trying to make her look a little bit better. We're not getting crazy here at all. This is not what you want to do. You want to come in here and do a way better job, but I don't feel like doing this 10 times. So that's what I'm doing now. Maybe one day I'll plug the body off this thing and we'll really go over it. The next few years I'm gonna be driving an original with a 4-barrel Edelbrock, a couple other small tasteful things. Oh no, I got overspray on it.